Welcome back to the Football Show. Well, today saw a chapter finally closed on what has been one of the most controversial 7 days in football. That was, of course, when last Thursday it came to light that a player had tested positive to anabolic steroids for the first time in league history. Of course, we all know that that player was Justin Charles, and he pleaded guilty today at the AFL tribunal to that charge. He was rubbed out for 16 matches, and on top of that will miss the Ansett Cup pre-season competition as well. So the AFL have certainly come out and made an example of Justin Charles. He joins us on the Footy Show tonight. Let's hear it for Justin Charles and Leon Daphne, the president of Richmond. Justin, can I firstly congratulate you on the stance that you've taken since it's all come to light. You've come on the Footy Show tonight to face up to the questioning. You had a media conference today and also pleaded guilty to the charge. First of all, can I ask you your response to the 16 matches plus the Ansett Cup? Was it a little bit more than what you might have thought you might have been getting? Or are you happy with what you got? You're never happy, are you?
Well, Eddie, it's a very serious charge and there's no two ways about that, and I can understand the stance the tribunal's taken and I fully accept it.
All right, let's go back to square one. Why did you take anabolic steroids?
Well, I was in a situation where my preparation from pre-season was being eaten away, and I was a long way behind where I wanted to be in my preparation, and injuries were taking its toll, and very frustrated, and it was to overcome injuries, and that's all I can say.
Was it solely your decision? There was nobody pulling your coat saying, have a crack at these,
No,
it might help?
It was solely my decision.
Leon, the Richmond Football Club have come out pretty strong in support of Justin Charles. Is that the situation?
Yes, Eddie. Justin's a listed player of the Richmond Football Club, and while we don't condone the taking of anabolic steroids legally or improperly, Justin's a required player at the Richmond Football Club, and everyone at Richmond is behind Justin very much, not only just in waiting for him to come back and play next year after this suspension, but also in his rehabilitation and also personal counselling, so he can take a more positive stance in the education of other people, both in the community and elsewhere.
Leon, there's talk last week that sponsors might pull the pin on Richmond because of Justin proving positive. Has that been the case? Has there been any rumblings from within the coteries that they might move out?
Well, there has been some comment I've heard in the media about that, Eddie, but the reality is quite different. Our major sponsor, Transport Accident Commission, have re-signed for a 2-year period with an option of a third, and just today SWEP's signed an agreement with us for a 5-year sponsorship for $600,000, so, and wished us very strong support to be passed on to Justin, and thank the club for the way they've handled this situation.
Just before I throw it open to the boys, Justin, can I ask you what went through your mind when you walked in after the game and there were the drug testers and they said, right, number 16, over you come, here's your bottle, fill it up?
Well, two things. It was after training, and I'm number 15.
15, rather.
So if they had said 16, I would have been right.
You're not taking the piss out of me, are you? They were doing that either you. What went through your mind?
Well, it was at training, and I just thought, well, you got to do what you got to do. I wasn't worried. I thought, well, if I get caught, well, surely they've got to understand that I had a legitimate reason for this, so that when it eventually did come about, that if I told the truth, everything would be all right. And as it's turned out, everything is all right. I'm still alive, and I'm going to miss a big chunk of next year, but I've learnt my lesson, and drugs in sport are not the answer. And it was a tough stance, but I'm willing to cop it.
Obviously, you would have thought to yourself, Justin, even now that your mindset might have changed a little bit, but or a little bit, a fair bit, that everything isn't all right. You've come out now and basically said that it is the incorrect way to go. The first time you thought that anabolic steroids could help you in your situation, when was that?
I never actually thought they could help, but you got to understand when you think that you're not going to make it to the start of the season with your team, and if you love your job, well, multiply that by 10 times. That's how much I love my job. And when you're trying to turn over every stone, when the doctors are telling you you've got to rest, you have to rest, and that's not what you want to hear, and then there's an opportunity that comes up, or something might help you.
Well, Justin, that happened for you, obviously. What was the next step? Did you go did you go to gyms? Did you go to a doctor? What was the next step to find the steroids? And then you had allegedly 6 courses of injections. What was going through your mind, when they were putting the needle in your arm? I presume that's where they put it. Well, whatever.
It's not exactly
anyway,
there. We
won't go into that, yeah.
They're there if you need to get them. Simple as that. And when you're desperate and you get the wrong advice, well, that's what happens.
What pressure? Sorry,
Justin. Sorry, Dermot. You mentioned before that you turned to steroids because of injury, and I understand that. Perhaps I know that Gary's probably in that same boat where injury could force an end to a career, and a lot of players are in that boat who haven't turned to steroid use. What do you say to the players who are perhaps treading that fine line? And there's a lot of players out there that are sort of on the edge of their careers and haven't done that, and maybe be considering that line.
Just don't. It's just not the answer. You're putting your body at risk. And basically, if you're hurt, it's your body telling you to slow down. You've got to rest. Simple as that.
What about the situation, Justin? Obviously, you've come out now and you said it is not the right way to go, and you're going to go in and try and educate juniors in the schools that to steer on another path. For the people in the media who haven't been down the track, as Horst said, almost to the well but can't get there because of injuries, the pressure on a player at your age, should he miss that huge part of a season, how much pressure is on a player that makes him turn to this course of action?
I can't answer that. Only if, like I said, I can't describe. You just never know. You just never know. I can't explain it.
Are you surprised by the media? Certain people within the media who've called for a harsher penalty than even the possibility of 22 weeks on the sideline?
No, because it's a very serious charge, and there's no room for drugs in sport. I understand them wholeheartedly.
But what would you say to those people as to your predicament, where you were? Would they ever experience anything of a similar note as to the way you felt when you thought, it's all leaving me, this is the end of the road?
No, I don't think they'll ever experience that.
Justin, just a couple of things. We know you spent time in America playing baseball. I'm just wondering whether, and obviously in the States they're a bit more exposed to this sort of thing, I'm wondering whether that had any influence in your decision, and just how much of a spur of the moment thing was it, or did you sort of procrastinate for a couple of weeks or months even?
There's no doubt. I don't care what anyone says about my account. Particularly in baseball, steroid abuse is rife. There's plenty of people over there doing it to stay in the game, and a lot of people that probably wouldn't be in the game if not for it. But the nature of that sport's a power sport. As for my use, it wasn't very much a procrastination thing. It was like an opportunity arose and I took it. Probably not enough thought to go into it.
What would you say to the people? I mean, I believe your teammates have turned around, are a bit lukewarm, a bit cool with you first, or is that
Never.
Incorrect?
That's incorrect.
They weren't? That's great. What do you say to the people who have been a supporter of Justin Charles, and I understand you've received countless numbers of letters, envelopes, wishing you well, not condoning the situation, but actually just wishing you well, that the best result for you as a person can be found?
Yeah, I got a bit emotional today at the press conference when I was asked this. The Richmond supporters have just been absolutely fantastic. They're the greatest supporters in the league.
Let's not go overboard.
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. They've been fantastic. They've sent me so many faxes and cards and stuff, and every single one of them said, we do not condone, or we don't think what you did was very good, but you're still a Tiger, and we understand you made a mistake, and I really appreciate that. Without their support and my family support and my friends' support, wouldn't be dealing with this very well at all.
Justin, Dermot touched on the fact that you had to front the players last Thursday after training, and then I understand there was a bit of a happier scenario on Monday at the drink. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I just got to stipulate that the players were at no stage, they didn't castigate me at all. They understood that I made a mistake, and they know that I'm a full-on type of guy, and that I did it to play and help out the club. So they were always behind me, and I was always invited to the wake, and of course we got down there and it was nude hour.
So just explain that. All the boys were standing in a bar in the nude having a drink, right?
Yep.
And you've walked in your suit.
Yeah.
What happened then?
I wasn't in my suit for long.
They tore it off. It's the birthday
Another
suit.
suit, the birthday
I
suit.
just got one.
Trev.
Oh,
Well, just while we're touched on the subject, Dad, I have to ask, Justin, is it true, mate? Does it shrink?
That's why the boys took the gear off him. Mickey Mansfield.
Yeah, I was just with it. I mean, I know there's a lot of players are put in that situation. Did you look into other ways of maybe using other forms that are more natural that may have been able to help your rehabilitation? And if you did, and you did go with the way with the steroids, what benefits do you believe that actually did bring you?
Well, Michael, the nature of the injuries were muscle tear injuries, and basically the medical advice and the doctors were rest. And we've got a running program. I'm sure you all guys are familiar with that we undertake, and it takes time, and time was something I didn't have. I needed to be able to train and get better at the same time, which they don't go together. And the particular stuff that I had was allegedly supposed to help in that regard.
Justin, just in winding up, can I ask you what the last 7 days have been like?
Well, I mean, try having 40,000 cameras shoved in your face and having your family harassed and stuff like that. It's not very nice.
Justin, just on a lighter note, mate, I'm a collector of sporting memorabilia, and I wouldn't mind a sample of the first ever test, just to label it, or you could autograph it for me. I could keep it in the cabinet.
You autograph we.
He's a very sick puppy, don't worry about that, mate.
Good luck, mate.
Justin, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Look, there have been a lot of people who have obviously held you up and said you deserved a flogging, and you've copped that in the football tradition today, 16 weeks at the tribunal. But I think everybody would take their head off to the way that you've taken it on the chin, and you've turned up here tonight to answer all the questions, and we appreciate you doing so. And also congratulations to Richmond, Leon, in standing by one of your players, particularly in a moment of almost embarrassment a week ago. And at the end of the day, Richmond have come through pretty strongly. Let's hear it for Leon Daphne and Justin Sharp. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the first of our teams for week 1 of the final series, 1997 on the Footy Show.